All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Right now at 6, new details in the case of 11-year-old Jacqueline Torres Garcia after her remains were found in an abandoned New Britain building. Glenn Kittle is going to get us an update in just a few minutes. But good morning to you. We hope your Tuesday is off to a good start so far. We're glad you're checking in with us here at Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus. I'm America Arias.
And I'm Bridget Bureau. Thanks for starting your day off with us. Temperature is pretty mild out there. It's feeling good. Hopefully it continues throughout the day. Rachel Piscatelli, it's going to feel fairly good. It's a little breezy.
Yeah, it's going to be great. A great day today. Beautiful for outdoor activities, going for a walk, or just enjoying the windows open in your house. As we don't have any rain today, but it is going to remain on fairly breezy throughout. We do have gusts right now up towards about 20 miles per hour, a little bit higher this afternoon. So we are a little bit cooler than this time yesterday. We are sitting anywhere from about 14 to 23 degrees colder. But given the fact that our numbers yesterday were up around 60 degrees, these numbers are sort of in line with where we should be, maybe a couple of degrees shy. 42 in Meriden, 42 right now in Torrington, into the 50s, New Haven and Bridgeport, 49 degrees out the door at Norwich. Wind speeds are up 5 to 10 miles per hour. We're looking at reported gusts a little bit higher than that, up towards about 20 in Bridgeport. So plan for a breeze today, although it won't be as windy as yesterday and it won't be as frequent as yesterday too. Temperatures all the way up into the mid 60s under sunny skies this afternoon out the door. 64 in Naugatuck, 66 today in Hartford. We'll go with 67 degrees closer to the Cromwell Middletown area, southeastern Connecticut in the low 60s, Waterford. And also into Mystic. Rain chances increase mainly after midnight tonight into tomorrow. You'll see rain around through the morning commute, tapering by the late morning and early afternoon with increasing sunshine. In terms of how much rain, it won't be much, 1/10 of an inch to maybe up to about 1/2 an inch of rain when all is said and done tonight into first thing tomorrow morning. After that, we are dry as we head into the rest of our work week. We'll have more details on that coming up in just a bit. Here at 6:02, we are following road work that is wrapping up at this hour, so just heads up for folks along 91. We are seeing our typical slowdowns as we do have the road work in the area there. So over on 91 towards North Haven into Meriden this morning, dealing with a little bit of road work. Then we also have our delays over in Fairfield County now. Your drive times from Middletown, you can see a little bit of a slowdown, but for the most part, traffic is fine. Norwich this morning, 395 looks good. East Hartford into downtown looks fine, as well as over in New Haven and Long Wharf. Your drive time to state lines, no major delays. New Haven to New York is around 61 minutes. Waterbury to New York, more of the same. Middletown, 91, a live look outside. I wanted to get to this drive time here for you. As you can see, northbound 91, New Haven to Hartford is around 41 minutes because of the road work that is wrapping up. Over to you.
All right, Rachel, thanks. 6:02 is your time. A woman is dead after police say she was stabbed by her boyfriend last night in Stratford. It happened around 7 p.m. on Griffin Street. Officers say 67-year-old Stanley Mulvey called police to say he had stabbed his girlfriend, 62-year-old Megan McShane. Police say Mulvey had been previously arrested back in May for a domestic violence incident with McShane. Mulvey is set to appear in court later on today. He's being held on $1 million bond. And a scary 6 hours for guests and employees at Foxwoods Hotel and Casino yesterday. Tribal police say they believe someone inside a room had unlawfully restrained 2 people before letting them go. But it would be more than 6 hours before a tactical team entered that room and took a person into custody. Guests say they were forced to leave their rooms without warning and left waiting for hours with access to their belongings.
With security knocking on our door and telling us that we needed to leave, but they didn't tell us why, what was going on.
Other guests described seeing heavily armed officers in the hallways as they evacuated. Some say Foxwoods staff gave $250 gift cards as compensation for the inconvenience. Police say the reports of this incident being a hostage situation were incorrect. They say this was an isolated and contained situation.
A piece of technology may have saved someone's life yesterday. State police, dive teams, and other police departments spent hours searching Tallinn Marsh for a missing person. Tallinn Town Manager Brian Foley says that the thermal technology from the drone from East Windsor ultimately helped them find the victim.
Drone from Broadbrook, East Windsor, was successful in locating the missing persons. From there, first responders, fire personnel were able to get the person safely onto the boat. The person was responsive but needed medical evaluation.
Now, we're still unsure why the victim was in the marsh or how old he or she is. Police say one man's in critical condition after falling from scaffolding at Our Lady of Lebanon Church in Waterbury. Police say 65-year-old Alair Rosa de Quilvera from Danbury fell about 16 feet while working on the church yesterday morning. He was taken to a local hospital with serious head injuries. Now, originally, police had told us that he had died, but they say that is not the case. He is still in the hospital and he is undergoing treatment. Investigators believe the fall was an accident.
State police are investigating a deadly crash in Woodbury. It happened on Route 64 near Old Sherman Hill Road. Investigators say a driver crossed their car into the center line and hit another car head-on. The driver of that second vehicle died at the scene. 2 others were taken to the hospital, we're told, with non-life-threatening injuries, and a 4th driver was treated on scene. Troopers are asking anyone who may have witnessed the crash to come forward.
Well, data from the Hartford Police Department shows the amount of shooting victims in the city has gone up 3%. That's compared to last year's data.
Yeah, this is the first time this year that the number of victims has been higher compared to the same time last year. Fox 61's Alicia Hercules spoke with a city council member who tells us more about what he hopes to see regarding violence in the city.
Over the weekend, 2 more people lost their lives to gun violence on Franklin Avenue. Before this shooting, the amount of shooting victims the city has seen this year was already at 61 in comparison to last year's 59 victims, up 3%. However, Hartford Police Department data shows that aggravated assaults with a firearm are down this year by 27%. The total is now 61 in comparison to 83 aggravated assaults with firearms last year. Josh Mickdom, a Hartford City Council member with the Working Families Party, says any gun violence in the city is alarming, but with shooting statistics seeing their first rise in comparison to last year, he hopes to see more programs put in place to deter people from engaging in such violence.
There's also people here in my neighborhood. I was talking to a neighbor who had a bullet hit her house, a couple months ago around the block, and that leaves everyone feeling shook. I do hope that as we push our elected representatives to respond, we think about what are the things we know that reduce shootings, right? So that's having more jobs, having more mental health services, having daycare.
Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
The man who pleaded guilty to killing a construction worker with his car last year was sentenced yesterday in Hartford. 25-year-old Tommy Nugent was accused of speeding through a work zone and hitting Jose Diaz-Nieves. That's a construction worker. Now, Nugent was sentenced to 18 years, but he'll only serve 7 of those years behind bars. He will also be on probation for 5 years post-release. Police say when the crash happened, Nugent was driving an unregistered and unlicensed car. During his first appearance, supporters of Nugent argued what happened was the result of a seizure. The family of Jose Diaz-Nieves, along with the co-workers, were there to show their support yesterday.
Despite everything today, I choose forgiveness. I forgive Mr. Nugent, not because the pain has gone away, but because I believe holding on to anger, we all prolong the suffering. However, forgiveness do not mean forgetting. The pain and the loss will remain with us forever.
And the only remarks made by Nugent were in a letter read by his attorney. During his probation period, he'll be required to attend mental health evaluation sessions and get his GED.
New documents released by the state Superior Court reveal new gruesome details in the case of 11-year-old Jacqueline Torres Garcia, whose remains were found behind an abandoned building in New Britain just a few weeks ago. Fox 61's Len Kittle joins us live from outside the abandoned house where young Jacqueline's body was found. With the latest info from those newly released documents, Glenn, some of that new info is a bit disturbing.
Yeah, good morning, Bridget. Definitely some sad and disturbing details that are laid out in those documents, but the information we know so far: last week, Jacqueline's mother, Carla Garcia, and her boyfriend, Jonathan Danita, were charged with the murder of young Jacqueline, who many called Mimi. Meanwhile, her aunt, Jacqueline, was also charged with child cruelty crimes. Now, in these documents, it lays out a terrifying display of details that surround the death of Jacqueline Torres Garcia, and we want to to warn you before we read them. Some of the details are definitely graphic. In one document, the aunt, Jacqueline Garcia, told police that she was an eyewitness to the abuse of Mimi when living with her sister Carla and her boyfriend Jonathan, saying Mimi was abused on and off. Jacqueline goes on to say the young girl was often confined to a corner of her room, restrained with zip ties, and left unfed. In a separate affidavit, Carla Garcia admitted that she and her boyfriend stopped feeding 11-year-old Mimi for about 2 weeks before she died. Carla also told police her boyfriend brought the child's body to their Farmington home's basement, but she didn't know what to do with it. He would later transfer the body to a tote storage container and move the body with the family when they relocated to New Britain. Now, eventually the body would be dumped here at this abandoned house behind me. Additionally, police say that Carla Garcia had detailed notes of the details surrounding Jacqueline's death in her phone, saying that she had planned to go on a podcast and share her story before her arrest. Now, as of right now, Carla Garcia, Jacqueline Garcia, and Jonathan Nanita's arrest warrants will remain sealed until next week. Live in New Britain, Glenn Kittle, Fox 61.
The story just keeps getting more and more terrible, Glenn. Thank you. Some Connecticut parents have called for increased oversight of homeschooled kids in our state in honor of 11-year-old Jacqueline to ensure that no child disappears unnoticed. Around 14,000 people have signed a petition in favor of Mimi's Law. That was her nickname. It demands action from state lawmakers to better protect kids and calls for regular check-ins and welfare assessments for all homeschooled students. In a previous interview with Fox 61, DCF told us they had no further involvement with the family between a 2022 investigation into her younger siblings and Jacqueline's death, which police believe happened in September of 2024. The department eventually closed the case in March 2025.
I contacted family members to ensure that their voices were heard. So I incorporated some of their ask into this draft of what Mimi's Law may look like. I think DCF needs to be held accountable for when they drop the ball. And we're also asking that they carry body cams so that things are documented, not debated.
The Mimi's Law petition also demands periodic in-person welfare checks for homeschooled kids. It would strengthen parental access and oversight rights to prevent one parent from cutting off the other entirely. It would also prohibit convicted child abusers from paroling into or residing in any home with children. You can find more of our coverage on Mimi's story on our free Fox 61 News app and fox61.com. Download Fox 61 Plus on your TV and watch for free.